So at the time of posting this video, Bethesda have recently released Nuka World, the final DLC for Fallout 4. This is my first video of this kind, a post-hype analysis of Fallout 4 and how it compares to the rest of the franchise. I guess I really wanted to vent my thoughts about this game because it was probably my most anticipated, well, ever. And I have so many thoughts I need to just get out there. Just a heads up, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't played it yet and intend to at some point, maybe you should stop the video here. I'll start off by saying that the Fallout franchise is my favourite gaming franchise ever. I've played every game except for Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. My favourite game of all time is Fallout New Vegas, and despite my issues with the game, I don't hate the fourth installment. To repeat the oft-quoted phrase, I believe that it's a good game, it's just not a good Fallout game. Now, let's get the good things out of the way. I love the weapon modification mechanics. The graphics were fantastic, the world design is excellent, the audio is virtually perfect. I also like the new approach with the layered armor and power armor system. Law-breaking absence of power armor training aside, I also love how robots get damaged too. Seeing bits of them just fly off as you shoot them, that's really neat. It's just something I think isn't mentioned enough. Unfortunately, that's about all I gotta say in terms of things I really liked. Back when I was watching the gameplay previews before its release, I already had an inkling that I wasn't liking the direction this game was taking. The thing that was hardest to ignore was the new voice protagonist and the new Mass Effect style dialogue wheel. I was worried that this would severely reduce the options to roleplay effectively, and I was sad to see that I was right for the most part. What really got me disappointed though was realizing just how shallow and almost pointless the dialogue system turned out to be. I lost count how many times I would approach an NPC and they would offer me a quest and I'd say, yeah, not too interested, sorry, only for them to give me the quest anyway. To really hammer home just how shallow the dialogue system could be at times, often the four responses would be literally yes, no, maybe, and sarcastic. But no, this was all just a clever disguise designed to give the illusion of choice. It was really more like yes, no, but yes anyway, maybe later, and cringy joke, but yes. This illusion of choice was probably the most frustrating thing for me. The Fallout franchise, particularly with installments like Fallout 2 and New Vegas, have historically given players multiple ways to approach a situation. The RPG elements were heavy and in-depth, but as for Fallout 4, yeah, I struggle with the idea of even calling it an RPG. At the very least, the role-playing and character customization elements from previous titles have been stripped away and incredibly dumbed down. Streamlined for a casual audience. Looking right at you, perk system. This stripping away of the RPG elements ultimately led to a lack of choice with the story. To be honest, I felt like my character was being treated like an idiot by the end. By the end of the game, I was leader of the Minutemen, leader of the Institute, and of the latest DLC, Nuka World, leader of an enormous band of raiders. But did that mean I could actually steer the group in a direction I wanted? No. In every case, the person who assigned me leader gave me a fancy title but still basically ordered me around. People listening who work in a corporate environment might have at one point seen a situation where an employee was given a fancy but often overblown title that didn't mean much, just to keep them happy and stay on board so the organisation can take advantage of their talents. That's exactly what it felt like to me. There was this part that made me literally burst out laughing, so Sean, my son who made this big song and dance about me being director of the Institute, suddenly tells me to kill all my friends in the railroad. Shocked, I naturally refused, thinking that this would open up a more diplomatic solution, but oh, silly me. Why hadn't I figured this out yet? There is basically no other way to solve a quest aside from being a murderous psychopath in this game. Sean even had the audacity to tell me, his newly appointed superior, that it was an order. So basically that was the end of the quest line for the Institute as far as I was concerned. But that wasn't the only time, oh no. Jump forward a bit and suddenly the game forces me to destroy the entire Brotherhood of Steel by blowing up their airship, killing everyone on board. Hey Bethesda, did you forget that there were children on that airship? I literally felt disgusted that this was the only option I could take at that point in the story. And this is where I get to my main issue with the entire game, the story. Bethesda, you can create an amazing world for your games, but you don't know subtlety or depth when it comes to writing. In previous titles of the series, there have mostly been multiple ways to solve a problem. You didn't have to kill everyone just to complete a quest. I'm almost positive if Obsidian, creators of Fallout New Vegas, were given the reins, they would have given the player options to reform the Institute, define the personality of the player character, and provide an experience that would have warranted the title of RPG. I mean, you couldn't even call Sean out on the horrible things he did as director of the Institute. It's like, oh hey, we kidnapped the father of this family, most likely killed him and replaced him with a synth. Could you go and give him some plant seeds? And you're like, okay. Oh, and another thing, the law breaking. So, Jet is a pre-war drug now, is it? What happened to Myron in Fallout 2? Jet was like one of the biggest plot points of that game. For Bethesda just to ignore that and make pre-war computer entries mentioning Jet by name is honestly, I think, pretty disrespectful. Some players have argued that maybe Myron was lying about how he invented it in Fallout 2, but yeah, I'm gonna need something a bit better than that to go with. I need some form of in-game explanation. Another thing is the power armor. I already mentioned that the training is no longer needed to use it, and now basically anyone can just strut on up, hop in and use it effortlessly, but finding Enclave power armor locked away in pre-war facilities? Come on. I get that the armor is leveled and more likely to spawn the higher level you are, but that's so immersion breaking for me. It was invented after the war. Anyway, there's also some other things that are too big to ignore. The settlement building system for one. Yeah, at first it was kinda interesting, but it got really old really fast for me, and that's only when it was working properly. It was really disappointing to see 4 out of the 6 DLCs have such a heavy focus on settlement building. Bethesda, we don't play Fallout for the settlement building. This isn't Minecraft, this isn't The Sims, this is Fallout. We have come to expect excellent DLC from the Fallout franchise, but the sheer lack of, well, effort this time was extremely disappointing. I'd almost call it pathetic, to be honest, especially after doubling the price of the Season Pass. Far Harbor, and to a lesser extent Nuka World? Yeah, more of that please. This is the quality we've come to expect when it comes to Fallout DLC, and the key word here is quality. Yeah, I know I'm complaining a lot, but the reason I'm doing this is because I care about the franchise. It is, or I guess perhaps was now, one of the most prestigious and highly regarded gaming franchises in history. But Fallout 4? Yeah, I think it's a step back. It has lost a lot of the depth it once had, and as a result, to me it feels pretty mediocre actually. Some things it did excellently. The companions are a big step up compared to Fallout 3. The gunplay feels really tight, and even little details like the player voice changing to a drunken slur after consuming alcohol, those are great. I think Fallout 4 could have been an excellent game, but I really don't think I can trust Bethesda to handle the franchise respectfully anymore. I've heard rumours that Fallout New Orleans has been trademarked, so I'm hoping that Obsidian is going to be allowed another shot to have their take on it. They know how to write a good, complex and multi-branching story, but something tells me Bethesda won't let them go ahead with it. It's just my gut feeling. In closing, if you had a lot of fun with Fallout 4, that's great. All the power to you, and I'll admit, despite all the flaws I mentioned, I still can't bring myself to hate this game. I still had a great experience, but I just wish it lived up to my high expectations. In any case, here's to the official end of Fallout 4. Anyways, I really appreciate you watching this video. It's just an experiment at this point, but if people like the content, I'll likely produce more along these lines. Okay, thanks again, have a wonderful day, and always remember,